Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Betting Show. I am your co host, Dan Hickman. You can follow me on Twitter at DanH720. And yes, once again, it is just me, myself, and I here this week. My co host, Kayvon Azami, at Kayvon_sports. He is not able to make it because there's some really bad weather right now that has knocked out his power. So thanks for bearing with me, just me once again this week. I'm going to run through his favorite three bets and my favorite three bets. This is our usual show format. We do this every week, all college football season long. We're looking at week 11. It's well underway this week already. We've got 2 nights in a row of action that happened, and now we're starting to get into the thick of it with some pretty decent games tonight and tomorrow. So I'm just going to walk you through our plays, and I'm going to take a second to let you know if you do enjoy the show, make sure to hit the like button below and subscribe. That way you know when our future shows are going to be. And make sure you hit the little bell icon. That'll give you a push notification on your device so you know when we're going live and you can jump in. Of course, you can always watch it recorded as well. We appreciate any and all comments. I don't see anyone here yet, but that's all right. I'm just going to jump right into it. So I've got Kayvon's picks lined up. Oh, yeah, I should say this first. I'm going to go right into the season record here. Not been a great season for us. That will happen to some people when you do this every week, no matter how good you are at it. You know, last season we were up a combined, I looked it up earlier, like 46 units last season, which is just pretty unreal what a run we went on last season. This season, clearly not as good, but I'll touch on last week. An absolutely brutal week in terms of the bad beat that me and Kayvon took with the TCU team total over 38.5. Literally came down to what we would call a horrible call. I thought the running back for TCU, not drawing his name at the moment, but I could have sworn he fell over that first down marker. Instead, they ruled that he did not get it on 4th and 1 inside the 5-yard line. A touchdown would have put us over that team total. Instead, there's a turnover on downs with like a minute left, so it gives Texas Tech the ball and hands us a loss there on that bet. That was an absolute brutal one. I had the over 69.5, not 0.9, which I put there. Forgive me, I was kind of scrambling a bit tonight. Wasn't it? Kind of had to just go solo impromptu to make this happen. So glad to be here. But yeah, that was a brutal one last week. Auburn play was great. The Air Force Army Service Academy unders are just great. We still have another one to look forward to, the Army-Navy game. That'll be coming up here near the end of the season. I have fond memories of this as a kid. I remember going to my grandparents for a Christmas night dinner with the whole family, and bunch of us falling asleep around the couch, kind of not really watching the Army-Navy game much, hilariously enough. And now that we're all grown up, we're betting the unders on it because it is a game you can definitely fall asleep to, especially when you've got the turkey in you, or the whatever you eat for Christmas. You're already half asleep anyway. That game will get you the rest of the way to bed for sure. It is a losing record so far in the season, but our personal cards as a whole, we're doing good and profitable there. Just matter of getting the right bets on the show, and it's more an art than a science. Sometimes it's kind of tricky, but here we are, and we're rolling into week 11. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get to Kayvon's first play. Bear with me here. And that's none other than the Michigan Wolverines. Their team total over 39 against Nebraska. This is a really simple handicap. Michigan is, they have an embarrassingly weak schedule. I'll add something to this. Like, I think it's embarrassing how weak their schedule actually is for a Power 5 team. For a Big Ten team as good as they are, they should be playing tougher competition. And quite frankly, I think that's part of why you're seeing them not in the top 4 of the college football playoff race anymore, and you're seeing TCU bump them out of there and take their spot, basically. And had Clemson won, they'd be even further behind. We'll talk – I'm not going to talk about Clemson, but they did lose to Notre Dame, as everyone knows, last week. So, this is just a simple one. Nebraska is, like, done for with their season. Not much to play for at all. Michigan is definitely in a style points mode, as Kayvon says, because for them to have any hope at all of getting the college football playoff, it's going to be when they play Ohio State. They've got to beat Ohio State pretty much at this point. And every other game they play, they also have to win by as much as possible to impress the committee and have any hopes of cracking into the top 4 and actually ultimately getting into the college football playoffs. So, I like that play myself. I think that's pretty savvy, over 39. I think there's no, if they don't get over 40 points in this game, I don't think they have any chance at all of making the college football playoff. If it were up to me, they'd already be out, but technically they're still alive, and them putting up that kind of a total will help them or keep their hopes alive, I would say. So I love that play. I mean, it's a pretty solid play. I really like that one. All right, and then let me take a breath here before I pass out. Next play, it's gonna be my first bet of the week. Looks like I got a YouTube comment. Are you going to talk about TCU? I kind of did already. The bad beat we took last week with them. This week I'll talk about it for a sec. TCU is playing Texas on the road this week. This game is really hard for me to handicap. I'm probably just going to keep it off my card. I think I would lean Texas here, honestly. This might be the first time TCU actually has to play a team that has their healthy starting quarterback in, like, all season. They've been incredibly lucky in that regard, and they have the full pressure of being technically in the college football playoff on their shoulders going into that game in Austin this week. And I think that's a lot for a team like them. I mean, I love that team. I love TCU, but boy, oh boy, I don't think anything in that game is going to make my card. Just really coin flippish for me. I think I'm going to watch it and see what happens. So that's really all I got to say. Like, TCU controls their own destiny. If they win out, they got a great shot at the playoffs, especially if, there's not really any other undefeated teams hanging around. It's like pretty much the craziest college football playoff scenario we've ever had. We've never had this many teams live with a shot this late in the season before. So it's really exciting in that regard, but could be very chaotic at the same time. So I just want to touch on that really quick. Thanks for being in the chat, everyone. So my first bet of the week is going to be none other than, and I think this is a popular one for a good reason, but I locked in Navy at like plus 17 earlier in the week. And quite honestly, I would take them again at plus 15.5. So last week, I'll talk about Clemson, Notre Dame actually a little bit. Last week, Notre Dame had that huge emotional win against Clemson, the huge upset. I still don't know how they pulled that off. The bad weather probably helped them a little bit, slowing Clemson down. And Clemson I think their defense is a little overrated, frankly. They've showed some holes. Notre Dame this is like a quintessential, what I would call a situational spot here, where Notre Dame's coming off that emotional win at home, and they're going on the road to Annapolis to play a sleepy noon kick at the Navy. And, this, I'll just go through my write-up. Basically, this opened at plus 20.5. Navy was plus 20.5 when this line opened last Sunday, I want to say. And now it's sitting at plus 15.5. So this has already been steamed down 5 points by all kinds of bettors, sharp and public alike. People don't realize the Navy's got one of the more elite rushing attacks in all of college football. Not only is it the triple option you'd expect from service academies, but they're incredibly efficient. They got the 12th best rushing offense in the country in yards per carry. I'm sorry, they got the 24th best rushing attack in all of FBS. Whereas Notre Dame's 53rd against the run, not too shabby, but not too great either. Also, when Notre Dame's got the ball, like they've shown that I don't know how much they trust their quarterback. It just seems like this is like a fragile, younger, inexperienced team, and this is the quintessential spot where they go on the road and just you're not going to see an A kind of performance out of Notre Dame here, in my opinion. Also, the Navy defense is 12th best in the country against the run, allowing only 3.2 yards per carry, which is incredibly good. This Notre Dame rushing attack is 53rd at 4.5 yards per carry. Over the season, Notre Dame's 17th in passing, which is the only thing that gives me a little bit of caution here because Navy is a little prone to giving up an explosive pass play, but I mean, overall, this is a really good spot. Give me the situational play here. I'm going to take Navy plus 15.5, and I would play this down to probably 14.5 personally. So, sorry, I didn't get the ticker in, but that's my first bet. Navy plus 15.5. All right. Thanks for bearing with me. I got it on a text here, so just going through Kayvon's. All right. All right. So Kayvon's next play, and I love this one. I actually placed this myself yesterday, day before, I want to say. It's going to be Tulane minus 1.5. And Kayvon's write-up goes like this. Tulane's having a very special season under Willie Fritz, their coach. Since 2016, the Green Wave have the nation's most profitable team to back at home. I've heard about this too. The record against the spread is like damn near impeccable. So, I mean, there's a reason a lot of bettors love this team, myself included. Kayvon obviously included. It's his pick. Over that span, they've gone a ridiculous, here you go, 26-11, which is 70% profitable against the spread at their home stadium, covering by over 5 points per game. They're playing UCF here. I don't have too much to add to that, really. Like, I think UCF's quarterback Plumlee's been in and out of like if he's going to play or not, so that might be something to keep an eye on here. I don't know how far I'd go. I'd probably take it to minus 2.5. I don't know about Kayvon, but yeah, we both have this play. I know for a fact, and yeah, definitely. Tulane minus 1.5 would be Kayvon's second bet here of the week. All right. Oh, snap. Looks like I got some comments. Everybody likes money. Yeah, it's true. Okay. I see you guys. All right. So my second bet of the week, I'm actually going back to the well last week. I do this fairly often when I see a trend that I really like that I don't necessarily see the books keeping up with 100%. I think they are trying to adjust to it, and they're doing a decent job, but this play is all about a few factors for me. Auburn is a team that's hard to keep up with because they fired their head coach like 2 weeks ago. Cadillac Williams came in, and you could just see like a complete 180 in like the attitude of this team, like the way they're just playing. It's like he's injected a new life into this team. It's quite something to see. He also was a running back at Auburn, just kind of like years ago. I want to say like 2005, 2006, back in the day now. But at any rate, Auburn actually opened as the dog here at plus 1.5. And I'm sure pretty quickly the sharp money saw that and just pumped that. And that's why it's sitting at minus 1.5 now. I'd play it down to minus 2.5. Auburn's getting 58% of the bets and 77% of the money against the spread this week as of right now. It's also back to the well in terms of fading Jimbo Fisher and this Texas A&M team that's a complete train wreck at this point. He just doesn't really have the leadership and command of this team. I say that because you've got all these suspensions going on. You've got injury on the offensive line. You've got probably your best or second best wide receiver is also out for the rest of the season. You know, they also had like a flu problem last week, and that could kind of lay over to this week as well, or carry over into this week. That would just be icing on the cake for this bet. To top it all off, just to kind of circle back to Auburn, if you look at their stats on the season, I was looking at earlier, it's kind of skewed. It kind of makes them look worse than they've actually played, like including last week. Thanks, guys. Love you too. See the comments. Anyways, I'm really expecting, Texas A&M's lost 5 in a row. Their season hopes are just down the drain. There's like nothing to play for here. I just see them shipping it in or mailing it in the rest of the way. Whereas Auburn, like when you have a new coach, like the players definitely feel like they're playing for him. I feel like they have a little more to play for here. And it's at Auburn as well, which I also like. I think Auburn's going to look to really establish the run with Tank Bigsby and that offensive line of theirs. I think they're going to really like push Texas A&M around a lot here and just take control of this game. They're also due for some turnover regression, meaning turnovers haven't really gone their way from a luck standpoint. That could really flip aggressively in this game. I would not be shocked. A&M's had some problems protecting the football or taking, just with turnovers. A&M's had problems. Texas A&M's also bottom third in defensive rush success rates. They're just giving up a lot per rush. And they're even worse at generating sacks and pressures on quarterbacks. So they're going to be able to sit back there and pick them off and throw it and carve them up a little too. So I'm fading Jimbo Fisher again. Another interesting nugget I saw out there, since 2005, Auburn's the most profitable short home favorite, as in 3.5 points or less. They're like 7-1 against the spread, covering over a touchdown each time. Courtesy of Action Network on that one. I want to give them some credit. They dug that one up, not me. I happened to find that. I also really don't mind a sprinkle money line on Auburn, or even like a half unit play on their money line. I really like them to win this game straight up. Quite honestly, I don't really see Texas A&M winning this game. And if you like to do money line parlays, I would take a long, hard look at this Auburn team as making my money line parlay this week. I think, if you're getting anything, like really anything plus money would be fair. Or just, if they end up becoming the favorite and it's like minus 105 or something like that, I think it's okay. But I'd grab it sooner than later. All right. All right, so at this point, we've gone through 2 of Kayvon's bets, 2 of my bets, and let me get a breath and a sip here. And we're looking at going into our best bets for Week 11 in just a sec. All right. Short and sweet tonight, everyone. Yeah, looks like I'm going to be out of here pretty soon, unless I get some questions or something. But so Kayvon's best bet of the week here is going to be Baylor minus 2.5 against Kansas State. And his write-up states that, Baylor's very good on the ground, averaging 210 rushing yards per game, I think is what he meant. The passing game is also efficient. Baylor's averaging over 40 points per game the last 4 games as well, so they've definitely been humming on offense as of late. K-State, I know they have a pretty good defense, but it seems to me like there's just a slight discrepancy going on right there, and I think he's taking advantage of that. I don't know too much more than that, so I'm going to leave it at that. Definitely follow him on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. And yeah, I just want to confirm that was his Twitter. He might have something more to add to that. I'm sure if he was here, he would have a lot more to add to that. And again, the only reason he's not here is the stupid tropical storm over the Carolinas right now just knocked out his power like an hour before the show. So definitely follow Kayvon if you're not already. All right. So that was his best bet. Baylor -2.5 against Kansas State this week. And I'll have a little more to say because the next one's actually my best bet of the week. And I'm proud to be able to announce a team that I was really high on before the season started. None other than the Fresno State Bulldogs, -9.5. This game is tomorrow night at UNLV. It's sitting at -9.5 in most books out there right now. I think I got -9. I like it anything south of 10. Once we get to 10, I start to worry a little because it's such a key number. I think Fresno should blow these guys out, or it should be at least a 2-touchdown game, but I would really feel a lot more comfortable taking this number in the single digits and not at a -10. It's just harder to cover that. But yeah, the big thing with Fresno State is it starts and ends with Jake Haener, their quarterback, 9th in all of FBS and quarterback rating, despite the fact he missed, 3-4 weeks with an injury at least. This team's actually in the driver's seat to win the Mountain West, which was a futures bet that I personally placed before the season started and recommended. I think a lot of people were pretty on board with that. Yep. And they're getting this line open at -7. And like I said, it's sitting at -9.5 right now. This is definitely one not to wait on. If you like Fresno State and you're with me here, I would jump on it sooner than later, for a solid unit play. And they were getting 72% of all the bets and 96% of all the money. UNLV is just, they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. There's one quarterback they have when he's in, I'm expecting him to play. Their offense is better. It gives them a little bit of hope, you would think, right? If you're trying to poke holes in my argument. However, Fresno State's stud safety is returning. He literally is the leader of that defense. He's back in the game. It's going to make this defense a lot better. I see them just making it a long night for UNLV, getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, just being in his kitchen all night in the backfield. And then when they have the ball, I mean, they're trying to do as good as they can with style points too, because they want to get into the biggest, baddest bowl game that they possibly can at this point. Jake Haener is also, I think, an NFL draft prospect to some extent. So he's definitely trying to get the style points himself too. I mean, I know he's a team player, and it's a team game, but I mean, his draft stock, I'm sure, means something to him when he's out there playing. And, just trying to pad those numbers and do his best. So, this is, I think the books haven't fully adjusted to what Fresno State is right now. This is really the team we thought they would be. Now that everyone's like the main pieces are all healthy, I really like them this week. So this is a Friday night game tomorrow. I'm, recommending this to go ahead and lock this in right now. And that's really pretty much it. Like, that's really all there is to that one. I don't really have much more to say about it. And I don't really have much else this week. So I'll just roll through our plays really quick and get on out of here and keep it short and sweet for y'all. And by the way, I mean, my Twitter's sitting down here. Welcome to DM me with any questions you might have about the slate this week. Be traveling tomorrow to the Carolinas and actually going to a sporting event. I'm going to see Wolfpack take on the Boston College Eagles on Saturday, so I'm really excited about that. Just personally, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'll be out there for about a week. So here we go. Just a quick recap of all of our bets. So for Kayvon, he's got the Michigan team total over 39. He's got Tulane -1.5 against UCF. His best bets, Baylor -2.5. My bets are Navy +15.5, Auburn -1.5, and of course tomorrow night, my best bet, Fresno State -9.5. Thanks for hanging with me, everyone. I really appreciate you all coming back, especially when it's just been my mug here the last 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully next week we can actually do a show with both of us. I think we're gonna have to schedule it on Friday because it's a travel week for both of us and it's kind of hectic. Going to another game on a Thursday night next week when we would normally look to do it, and I won't be in town. So probably next Friday, a week from tomorrow, is when we'll do our next show. But we'll definitely send out some tweets about that to y'all. And best of luck this week. Hit us with any questions you might have on Twitter. Again, at DanH720, and he's at Kayvon_sports. And best of luck this week. We'll see you next week. Later, everybody.